Chicago Bears' thrilling victory over the Cincinnati Bengals is behind us. We have to switch gears and discuss the New York Giants. But before we do that, we got to talk about what Rome Odunze's dad has to say about his targets, plus a couple of other things. Chicago Bulls look to get back to their winning ways as first place in the Eastern Conference is on the line tonight versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Blackhawks lose last night, and the Cubs and White Sox both make decisions on two of their all-stars. Is your boy Big Kev. We're going to get into it right after the intro. Good morning, Chicago sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Chi-Town Sports Central. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for Chi-Town. Y'all already know what to do. Hit me up at Big Kev from the Shot, Big Kev from DACHI. And don't forget to follow the rest of the Chi-Town Sports Central family by typing in all your favorite Chicago teams. Putting the word Central behind it, you'll find one of us, as well as NBA Central, NFL Central, and the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys, C-Dub, and Bobby. Let's get right into it. The Chicago Bears had a thrilling victory over the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday afternoon. And it just looks like we can't really move past that game, at least not yet, considering that yesterday, first we'll talk about some good things before we get into Rome Odunze's meathead of a father. I want to talk about two players, Darnell Wright and Kyle Monangai. Darnell Wright and the entire offensive line, their run schemes on Sunday was incredible to the tune of the Bears rushing for over 200 yards. But Darnell Wright, man, after having pretty much a down season last season, after having a solid rookie season last season, he was kind of a down year this year, started kind of slow, but now he has hit his stride. My man is currently graded as the fourth best tackle in the league, and that includes left and right tackles. Fourth best in the league. I mean, this kid yet on Sunday was out there moving people around. At one point, he took the Cincinnati Bengals cornerback and just drove him all the way out of bounds into the legs of one of the Bears coaches. It was crazy to see. Hell, even seeing how he reacted to the touchdown play with Colson Loveland and Caleb Williams. He's out there doing cartwheels. Now, I don't want to see our 300-pound guard out there doing cartwheels to celebrate touchdowns, because if you mess your knee up, it's going to be a problem. But I'm not mad at him showing his exuberance because he's having a hell of a season, and it could lead to some recognition. Let's just say it that way after the season is over. And then, of course, Kyle Monangai, before we move on from this game, it's no secret that it was his first NFL start. He's a 7th-round pick. We got the pick from Cincinnati last year and trading Khalil Herbert. But there's only two running backs in Chicago Bears history that have at least 26 rushing attempts and more than 175 yards in a single game. The other one was Walter Payton, of course. Kyle Monangai is the other guy. So it's two players, Walter Payton and Kyle Monangai. Shout out to the Bears for having some great things to talk about in what could have been a disastrous outcome had they not pulled it out in the end versus Cincinnati. Now, before we move on from the Cincinnati game, apparently James Odunze, Rome Odunze's father, allegedly, because you can't believe everything you see on social media, initially retweeted a post from some guy named Rick. Can the Bears trade Rome Odunze to a team that will actually throw to him? That was his first one, right? And then he followed that up with Rome Odunze targets 59, catchable targets 37, receptions 31, receptions for first down 27, drops 3, touchdowns 5, yards 473, and he follows that up with stats over narratives. Now, on Sunday, Rome Odunze did have 3 targets, 0 catches. 2 of those were dropped, 1 in the end zone, and one of them on a trick play from Cole Kmet. From Cole Kmet, which looked like it was a catch, but it got overturned. So his stat line was zeros across the board. Now, in terms of team, on the Chicago Bears team, though, the dude has a lot of targets. Got a lot of targets. 37 targets, 3 receptions. No, he has how many targets he got? They say catchable targets is 37, but 59 targets. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna read too deep into this because the Bears are a winning team right now. They're basically virtually tied for first place with the Packers and the Lions. And frankly, the Bears, Roman Doomsday's dad, if he really did say this, he should be focused on winning and focused on his son playing for a franchise that's turning things around. Not if he's getting targets and so on and so forth, or should he be traded? Like, that's goofy. Like, why would you want to? That's just goofy. Now, I'm not one to sit and say what a person should say regarding their kids or whatever. But if the Bears were 1-5, 1-6, something like that, and Rome wasn't getting targets, actually wasn't getting targets, and the offense was looking like trash, then I could see you being frustrated. But come on, man. Your son is playing, he's the number one, number two receiver on a team that's winning. And if you don't know anything about Ben Johnson spreads the ball around. It's just how he does it. He's not gonna just focus on one player. So Rick, such a trap. James Adunze, fall back, fam, and watch the season continue to unfold. Stop adding fuel to a fire that wasn't even there. It doesn't make any types of sense. So we love Roma Dunze here in Chicago. There's no need to be stoking flames for no reason whatsoever. Now, moving on, before we get to the Giants, which we'll discuss tomorrow, the Chicago Bears are in the trade deadline. Today is the trade deadline. They lost Dio Jangbo to injury. A few other players are injured. Obviously, the defensive backfield is injured. And people are wondering if the Chicago Bears are going to make a move before today's trade deadline. So my thing is, obviously, you need a edge rusher. Now we know Montez Sweat is having an up year. He's been playing much better. We just got what's his name back? What was his name? Houston, I think. Why can't I think of the young man? The edge rusher that just got back though. You just got him back. He forced a fumble in Sunday's game. So we have edge rushers out there, but you still need help. You can't just ignore it. So they could look at Jermaine Johnson in New York. We talked about him earlier in the year. In 5 games this year for the Jets, he has generated 14 pressures and a sack, but he's been injured with an ankle injury, and he just got back from that ankle injury. So you can look at him. You can look at Draymond Jones. He's 6'3", 281 pounds. The Tennessee sucks. He has 12 quarterback pressures and 5 sacks in 8 games. And in the last 4 weeks, he has a sack in each one of them. So we could look at him. Maybe they're looking to get rid of him. It's possible that the Bears can give up like a fifth or a fourth rounder for him, but we'll see. And then of course Matthew Judon, the veteran, he's available. He's 33 years old. He's going to be. He actually had a deal in place with the Bears back. When was that? Because I do remember that last season, right? I think he had a deal in place with the Bears last season, but he ended up going to the Atlanta Falcons. They traded him for a third-round pick. So you got a couple of edge rushers that are available that the Bears could be looking at um, to help out, to shore up this defense. Because frankly, the defensive line, even though they played really well this past Sunday, and they did get some sacks on Joe Flacco. It's been one of the weak points for the Chicago Bears, if we want to be honest. It's been one of the weak points, and they have to get better at that position. Now, they also got to get better at the cornerback position. And hold on, I'm trying to see something because I can't believe I'm forgetting this kid's name. Oh, that's Cincinnati. Where he at? Montez, Daniel Hardy. Andrew Billings. Oh, there you go. Austin Booker. Austin Booker is back, so he's going to be important factor going forward, especially with Dio going down. But you can pick up some help as long as it doesn't cost you too much draft capital, right? Because frankly, nobody's expecting the Bears to win the Super Bowl this year. Hell, many people didn't even expect them to make the playoffs. So if you got a team that's kind of going to be middle of the pack, now I know they're sitting at 5-3 right now. They could be 6-3 after Sunday. They could even be in first place after Sunday. But you don't want to give up too much draft capital. We've seen what's happened with that in the past, especially with like picking up Khalil Mack and not really getting a true return on that investment in terms of winning, and you still have to recover from that in terms of first round picks that you gave up for that player. So I don't expect the Bears to give up too much draft capital moving forward. But hey, if any of these guys are available in this low risk, high reward, I say go for it. And you also have cornerback situation. I've heard Asante Samuel Jr. He's back from injury. He had like a back fusion to get back healthy. I don't know about that. But they could also look at Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs had an amazing rookie season, and the second season was pretty good. But then after that, he's kind of fallen back down to earth. But he does have history with Al Harris, and he could be a player that can come over and change that cornerback room for the rest of the season. So there's an option there for the Bears to look at Trayvon Diggs. Who knows? But we do know that we need cornerback and we do need a defensive end / edge rusher. And frankly, we probably were talking about running backs up to like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it looks like the running back room is secure. So tomorrow we'll discuss the New York Giants as we move forward. But hey, let us know what you think about the content on the Chicago Bears, on Darnell Wright, on the Kamanan guy, Roma Dunze's dad talking crazy, and the trade deadline. All right, if you want to hear anything else about the Chicago Bears, head on over to Chicago Bears Central, where Hayes is holding it down, C-Dub and Bobby with the mailbags, and then of course Steve and myself popping in on Sunday mornings for pregame and the live calls and the post games. All right, now the Chicago Bulls are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Both teams are sitting at 5-1. Both teams are looking to get back into the win column. I think hold on real quick. I know the Bulls are looking to get to 6-1, and honestly, the loss to the Knicks wasn't that bad, right? Like I feel like the Bulls didn't play hard enough, but also it was also like a game where the referees were really really bad in terms of foul discrepancies, so on and so forth. But you got to overcome those types of things if you want to win in this league. Frankly, Philadelphia is not going to go down easy. The Bulls are back home, but Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are playing some damn good basketball right now. Damn good basketball. Tyrese Maxey's averaging over 30 points a game. The Bulls have more of a balanced attack, but their top two scorers right now are dominant. They're dominant, and they only got one loss on the season. Andre Drummond's playing really good at that center spot. Joel Embiid is in and out. You know that's what's going to happen with him. But VJ Edgecombe is averaging as a rookie, by the way, where's his points at real quick? He's averaging 20 points a game and 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But Tyrese Maxey is who the Bulls are going to have to hold in check. He's averaging 33 points a game and 9 assists. He's just comfortable out there. One of my favorite role players in the league is Kelly Oubre Jr. He's averaging 19 and a half. Quentin Grimes is coming off a good season last year after being traded from Dallas to Philly. He's averaging 18.2. And again, Joel Embiid, if he plays tonight, he's averaging 17 points and 5 rebounds. He's a shell of his former self, but he likes to destroy the Chicago Bulls. I don't know what it is when it comes down to the Bulls, but he definitely likes to get in and get busy with the Bulls. And we don't know what's going on with Paul George, but hopefully he doesn't get out there tonight either. He should be on his way back at some point. But VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, if the Chicago Bulls can play defense, hold those guys in check, they should be able to get a victory tonight at home. Obviously, the Bulls are undefeated at the crib. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup. Got to get back to your winning ways. Got to move the ball around. And you definitely have to stay out of foul trouble. Now, I don't like the way the game was called against the Knicks. It was a lot of pushing off when they were driving to the basket, especially between Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. But the Bulls, again, they're going to have to overcome that. Hopefully, my boy Ayo Dosunmu is back. Let me see if he's questionable tonight, so hopefully he comes back tonight because the Bulls missed him tremendously versus the Knicks. Josh Giddey's having a pretty good season so far, averaging 22 points, about 9 assists and 9 rebounds, so pretty much a triple double. And Vooch as well, averaging 20 points and 12 rebounds. Io off the bench has been solid. Montes has been up and down, but solid as well. Kevin Herter and Trey Jones rounding things out. And then, of course, Patrick Williams giving you his obligatory 9 points, 4 rebounds in most games. And Jalen Smith is actually playing pretty well too. So it's not going to be an easy game tonight, but I think the Bulls can get the win. The Chicago Bulls Central is where you can find us for all Bulls content, Shy Bulls podcast as well, over on Playback in Tandem, Shy Bulls podcast, and Chicago Bulls Central. And right here, Chi-Town Sports Central will be on YouTube and Playback for the live call of the Chicago Bulls versus the Philadelphia 76ers, as well as pregame and postgame. So, yeah, and of course, follow Locked On Bulls as well with Hayes and Pat, the designer, are holding it down over there. Let us know what you think about the Chicago Bulls versus Philly tonight, right in the comments. Chicago Blackhawks lose last night. Honestly, they had the opportunity to put up points, but they just did not take advantage on the power play. Every time they had like 3 power plays in the first um, two quarters or the first 2 frames. Well, I don't know what they call them because they only played 3. So, but it was a winnable game. They ended up making it a closer game than it was. They lose 3-1, but they just didn't have that pizzazz that they've been playing with lately. They didn't put up a lot of shots on goal. They didn't really I mean, like we've seen them score, 5, 6, 7 goals in several games this season. It just didn't have it last night against Seattle. So hopefully the Blackhawks can get back into their winning ways. They haven't won. I think they're on a 3-game losing streak now after starting 5-2-1. They're now 5-5-2. So that's just not good. They got to get back to it if they want to stay in the hunt throughout the season. They did call up one of their first round picks from last year to help out. So hopefully he can get what's his name, Oliver Moore. He was killing the AHL, putting up 6 goals. Hold on, let me see what he was doing in the AHL. Yeah, he put up 6 goals, 3 assists, and 9 points in a couple of games, in 9 games. So hopefully he can help the Chicago Blackhawks moving forward. But y'all already know hockey is not my forte. I just watch the games. I've been a fan since I was a kid, but not as big of a fan as I am of basketball, football, and baseball. So we are looking for a host to come over and help out with Chicago Blackhawks Central. Hit us up if you're interested in that. Comment what you think about the Blackhawks start to the season and if they could turn things around right down in the comments section. And no news on the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese will not be playing in Unrivaled this upcoming winter. I don't think it's a bad thing because, frankly, she needs to get healthy. She's been injured toward the end of both of her WNBA seasons. She doesn't need to be doing too much physical activity besides training in the offseason, and hopefully it can help her have a fully healthy season. Now, Chicago Cubs. I'll head over to Chicago Sky Center for all updates, news, and analysis on Chicago Sky, where Hayes and Steve are holding it down over there. Chicago Cubs they decided to not pick up Japanese phenom Shota Imanaga's um, option. And then he and his team decided not to pick up their own player option. So the Chicago Cubs had the opportunity to pick him up at a $20 million per year option. They said no. Then he had a player option at $15 million for next season, and he said no. So now it's not, he was in top 5 in the Cy Young voting last year. And then this year just fell off a cliff, got injured, started off pretty strong, but got injured and then didn't play well in the second half and was completely terrible in the playoffs. And he's just older. Like he's a good player, and the Cubs could bring him back for a lesser deal or to be a reliever, but or he can go back to Japan. However, Chicago Cubs now clear up $15 million to basically go and pick up another pitcher, hopefully to shore up this pitcher's room. So yeah, thanks for the memories, Shota Imanaga. You definitely were fun to watch, especially that first year. But now it's time for the Cubs to move on, and I like it. I'm glad that they didn't allow themselves to get caught up in the hype of whether or not they should stay, keep him, or be emotionally attached to this player. Even though he played well last year, he doesn't have what it takes, at least from what we saw this year, to help you win playoff games. gives up too many home runs, inconsistent. So again, shout out to Shota Imanaga for the memories, but good on the Cubs for moving on from him because they could have easily decided to keep him and try to squeeze one more year out of him. Speaking of squeezing one more year out of him, Chicago White Sox have decided to keep Luis Robert Jr., which is no surprise. They pick up his $20 million player option. They got one more after this year, but I doubt that they're doing this because they want him on the team. They're doing it because they don't want him to leave for nothing. Now, to Luis Robert Jr.'s credit, he did play pretty well after the All Star break, but then he got hurt and didn't really get a chance to play in September. But he hit 14 home runs and stole 33 bases in 110 games. If he was able to get up to about 150 games, you would have probably seen 20 plus home runs and about 40 something 40 to 45 stolen bases. And again, I believe that they're most likely trying to do what they wanted to do this year, and that's have him come in and play his way off the team and increase his trade value throughout the season, and then going into the trade deadline, maybe be able to get him off. Because now it's a friendlier situation because he has just one more year with an option on his contract, and the White Sox can get rid of him, trade him to another team, and they can rent him for a postseason run, and then maybe negotiate with Luis Robert Jr. He's still in his prime. He's 28 years old. He just turned 28 in August, so you'll be getting still a player that is on the right side of 30 who, although he's injury prone, he's shown that he can play at an all-star level. So if they can't trade him this offseason, there's a chance that we'll be saying the same thing next offseason of the White Sox picking him up on another $20 million a year, $20 million option for that year before he goes into his 29th year of existence. But hey, it is what it is, man. The Chicago White Sox did the right thing here, in my opinion. You got to keep certain players that you have value in, and you want to see if you can get more value from going into the next season when you have the option to do so. Even though he's making $20 million, which is a steep for a player that for the last 2 seasons hasn't been producing, you know how baseball is. Maybe next year is when it clicks for him and he has an up year and you can trade him, or he can help you make a postseason run, which is, questionable for the White Sox, but definitely doable. All right, y'all know what it is. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for Shot Town. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us over here every weekday. Follow me at Big Kev from the Shot, Big Kev from DACHI. And then don't forget to follow the rest of the Shot Town Sports Central family. Type in your favorite Chicago sports team, put the word Central behind it, and you'll find one of us, as well as NBA Central, NFL Central, and the Shy Boys podcast with the Cognac Boys, C-Dub and Bobby. Yeah, don't forget to comment, like, share. We appreciate the love and support. We're going to holler at you guys next time. Peace.